Welcome to Season 1, Episode 8 of The Orange Juice, the podcast all about Orange, New South Wales, its people, its stories, its events. And today I am beyond excited and flattered to have someone you could only call an Orange legend, Fem Hawke. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
It's my pleasure, Kyle.
I know you're not one for publicity. I know this was a reluctant thing for you because you're a private person and you're very a quiet achiever. But thank you for joining us on the podcast because your story, Courtney's story, and the story of Hawkes and food in Orange is one that we all would like to hear.
Sure, there's lots to hear about.
We'll get into that a little bit later. First of all, we have a thing called the McGrath Minute, and we just do a few little rapid-fire questions, and you can answer them off the cuff. I think the first one's going to be one of the easiest ones you've ever answered. Coffee or wine?
I think there's only one answer to that, and that's both.
Very good. We can't go on without mentioning the fact that you guys pretty much brought espresso to Orange. You were basically credited with being, the first business in Orange to offer it on that daily basis.
I think that's very true. I think D'Aquinos were the only others because they were roasting their own coffee, and we were getting coffee from Cafe Bianchi in Leichhardt. And we actually, I think, had the first operating cappuccino machine. There were a few around, but mostly they put Nescafe in and used the milk frother to add
to make a milk coffee.
To milk a cappuccino with the Nescafe.
And the rest, as they say, is history because we are, we're nearly as much a coffee town as we are a wine town.
Oh, it's incredible. I don't know how many outlets there are, but there's hundreds almost. Yes.
I know Hawkes would sell a gazillion coffees. Jeremy Norris commented that they're selling 1,000 a day at Byng Street.
I was trying to work out how many a day we saw. It was a hell of a lot.
Yep.
It's not 1,000. Obviously, we only have one outlet, but it's a very, very busy coffee outlet, unbeknownst to a lot of people.
Well, thank you for bringing it to Orange.
That's a pleasure.
This is another really tricky one for you because the obvious answer is a really obvious answer, but your favourite eatery, that doesn't have to be Lolly Rodini or Fiorini's just because Sim's cooking there, but maybe it's your current favourite eatery.
Well, my current favourite eatery is 50 Clinton Street because I'm married to a very, very good chef and we don't eat out a great amount. Courtney's a fabulous cook. He always cooks, even though he's elderly, he always cooks a great meal at night. But Fiorini's seriously was, before Simmy became involved, a very, very favourite restaurant of ours. But there's so many now and there's so many great ones. I mean, I just love a Gorgonzola pizza down at Avida.
Absolutely.
And there's just lots of outlets. I mean, all the obvious ones, Union Bank and Lucetta and Hey Rosie and Raku and so on, and all of Sammy's. I mean, there's so many great places to eat.
Well, again, we'll dive into that a little
I'll
bit more
go
later.
Fiorini's.
Fair.
One word answer?
Fair call. What about the thing you most like to do as a local?
Oh, God. Well, actually, like walking is my favourite thing in the world apart from working. And so as a local, I just love, with my mate, walking buddy, walking around Orange. And so we've just done the whole town, the streets everywhere, hospital, Bunnings, just exploring. This time of the year is fantastic.
It's a great town to walk around. And you're in a great spot to do it in the middle of town.
Farmers market, are great, and walking around the lake's lovely. But I'm not a great one for activities. I've got enough going on in my head and my life to be looking for favourite things to do.
Leading into the next question, you love your travel as well. You're an extensive traveller, so when you're away, what's an Orange memory that always comes back? What always brings you back to Orange as a memory?
I was going to say my favourite memory was going to the airport with a ticket to Rome in my pocket was the answer to that question, but you've reversed the question about my favourite thing about coming home. Oh, God, I haven't really thought about that. I think just being back in this beautiful town, just being home to Orange and being grateful that we live here. Because if you've, and I have travelled, we've both travelled a lot, but there's very few places that I can think of that have what we've got here. The Four Seasons are so beautiful and the facilities, the art facilities, and it's just, happy place.
Great answer.
Lucky.
I'm going to assume you love reading. Do you read Are you reading anything at the moment?
Well, I'm listening to a book at the moment because I do that when I'm walking.
Yep.
Because my mate's travelling at the moment, so I'm walking by myself. I'm listening to The God of Small Things, which is just a beautiful Indian book, Indian story. But I've just read a lovely book called The Place of Tides by James Redbank, and it's about an elderly woman who is living on a rocky outcrop in a remote island in Norway, and she looks after the eider ducks, which is where the feathers come from for eider downs. And it was a huge industry in Norway years ago, and it's died. And this very old lady is reviving it by building nests. And
wow.
It's just a beautiful, beautiful book.
So it's not a fiction.
No, it's true story.
True story.
Yeah. It's called Place of Tides.
I will put that on my
list.
list.
It's a really beautiful book.
Love it.
Yeah, I do read a bit, but I'm pretty busy. Restless and
you're always busy.
Very hard to sit down and read.
What about a local hero, Fem? Just someone that you think, and we all have many, but someone who comes to mind as
current, or does it have to be current?
It doesn't have to be current, or it doesn't have to be current. It could be anyone
I can't isolate anybody really apart from my husband. That's pathetic, isn't it?
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Well, I think, because he is my local hero, because the things that Courtney's done and that we've done together, but Courtney particularly has done and keeps doing and keeps thinking and creating ideas. I think I'd have to put him as number one. But then there's Bill Marshall, who got the gallery going, Janie Raffin, and Kim Curry, who, I worked on a board with her with Brand Orange, which I think was, a huge thing to start promoting the district. Followed up by Peter Robson, who, he's another local hero. I've got a few.
We can have more than one, that's for sure. I tell you what, you and Courtney, the energy you both have, I wish we could bottle it. I'd like some of that.
Not for sale, sorry. Courtney hasn't got too much left. I don't think I've worn him out.
Oh, funny. Look, let's get into a little bit about you, the person. I was lucky enough to interview you guys a few years back for, it was either Country Style or Downtown or one of those mags, and I loved your story. So we'll just talk through it again. You've been in Orange a long time, and
well, I was born in Orange, so I spent my whole life here.
Yep.
It's tragic, isn't it?
I don't think it is. No, I think it's beautiful actually, because all your travel aside, you've chosen somewhere, or somewhere's chosen you that you really must love. You could go anywhere you want.
Yeah,
and
true.
You've chosen to stay.
Yeah. Oh well, it's, as I said earlier, it's a beautiful place to live, and I think that in my lifetime, we've just seen all this sort of things that make it a beautiful place to live happen. As a child, when I was born in 1945, end of the war was pretty fabulous because we could do 1,000 things that you can't do now. There's no fences and the dogs were running the streets. We ride our bikes and play cricket and fly kites where the high school is and go to the circus and things that, just were very free. There was not very many rules.
Love it.
And now, of course, things have changed, and I think we're just equally as lucky.
Now, Courtney also born and bred?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Locals. I tell you, we're truly local.
And you guys were together almost as kids.
We went to kindergarten together, actually, which was tragic. I actually think he fancied my sister.
I don't think it's tragic at all, Fem. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and I think a lot of people do.
We're actually about to celebrate our 60th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We've got to make it. I haven't made it yet.
To you.
It's a few weeks off, so...
Fantastic.
Yeah, we've spent a lifetime together, so, it's been good. Well, we've been able to throw our energies into things that have
into
been...
so much in Orange.
In Orange, yeah.
I want to talk about that now because you guys are credited with so many things in Orange regarding...
Let's straighten out these rules then, make sure that they're true.
Absolutely, and that's why you're here, to make sure we do get the facts correct. But I know that it's pretty well accepted that you guys have been founding fathers and founding members of Food Week and the whole food movement here, really, from bringing the espresso here to exploring. And I know there are other people involved, which I'd love you to mention. Take us through that journey of how we got to, because in 2020, 5, we have this incredible
Industry,
machine,
yeah.
Orange 360,
Yeah.
what council's done, the incredible amount of tourism we get through here. We're sitting here in Quest Apartments, which has been built because we literally have a town that needs,
Yeah.
accommodation. You guys have been an integral part of that.
I think the Food Week story is really interesting because that basically started with a group of 5 or 6 people, and they had their meetings at our place on the veranda at Luxalium when we used to live out of town. And Kate Gray, I think, was a member. Rhonda Doyle was very I think, she claims to have started Food Week, which maybe it was her original idea. I think that's
Look, Rhonda
probably
and Stephen
true.
are absolute pioneers themselves,
and
of course.
Rhonda and then Courtney and Jane.
Robbie Robinson?
Rob Robinson wasn't on the original committee. Michael Manners and Jacqueline George. She was a doctor, a very eccentric doctor in town. And they just had this idea that, why don't we have a start of Food Week or something to promote food of the Orange District?
To celebrate our produce, to
and
celebrate
they
our
were so
growers.
enthusiastic, and they had put in $10 each, and that's how it started, just to get some bit of paper out and do some bit of promoting. And it was, they used to stay at long meetings. They'd be up at, midnight enthusing over drinking wine and talking about how great it was going to be. And
What a great way for it to be born.
And then the first Food Week was pretty fabulous.
First Food Week was in, can you remember what year?
Well, I can't remember the year, but I know that Philip Searle came and did a fabulous food dinner that was the first of the Food Week dinners, where they brought a chef in from out of Orange. I can't remember the year. I'm not good on dates.
Last week we had Fiona Hall on the podcast, and they're juggernauts of agriculture in Orange, growing their apples and cherries. Can you cast your mind back to that time and tell us what was the energy around the concept of Food Week? Was it so much about the food on the plate in a restaurant, or the drinks and wine that went along with it, or was it all about the growers as well? Or was it about this food basket?
Well, I think it was about the food basket. Well, it was both, but I think about the food basket. I mean, Courtney was an orchardist, so we lived for 20 years. He was hard to believe these days, but he was an orchardist, and I think that it just became obvious that because of the 4 seasons and where we lived, that all this was happening in our district. And because we didn't have a university or anything really to promote Orange. Dubbo's got the zoo and Bathurst's got universities, and this seemed to be this wonderful town of like being in Italy, really, just the physicality of it, without any sort of focus. And the focus obviously was around exactly what it is, volcanic soil in the mountain and beautiful produce coming from it, and wonderful farmers and people producing it. So I think that's sort of where it started. And then, of course, that led into, what
we have today.
What we, started small and, what we have today, which is like, whoa.
And it really is a part of what puts this place on the map. And you guys were so instrumental in that. And then alongside all of that, as Food Week was growing, I guess in tandem, there was this amazing retail store, because I'd love to talk to you today about food and wine, but also about retail. Hawke's General Store is coming to an end for the Hawke family after 50 years. But I remember as a kid growing up in the Central West seeing ads on television for Fems and the Kitchen Hand.
That's right.
Reg Livermore.
Yep.
You guys were ahead of the game on marketing even back then.
We might have slipped a bit since then, I think.
Oh, I don't think so.
Well, they were different days, I think, because I worked at Channel 8 for 10 years, and so I had lots of contact in that industry.
Yep.
And so that's why we were able to make TV commercials and do all sorts of things. And I guess I'd had a bit of background in marketing, just through my work at Channel 8. It was fun.
Can you talk us through that journey from, was it Fem's, or the first name?
Started off at Fem's. I bought the business in 1976 with Janet Dunlop. She was my partner, and we were in business for 7 years, and it was called the Orange Spinning Wheel. Mm-hmm. Great name. And we sold all sorts of funny things, and I think that partnership came to an end, and I then bought Janet out and she went on to do other things. She worked for the Botanic Gardens and did some great things for Orange. And I just called it Fems because I thought it was a better name, really. Bit of ego going on there. And so that's how that started.
And
that
then Fems
they
in
were
the
great.
Kitchen Hand?
They were fabulous. They were fabulous retail days. They
Fems
really
in the
were.
Kitchen Hand was the next.
Well, that's when
genesis.
Courtney just wanted to put his little beak in and go, well, I think I could get a bit of this, get a bite on this. And so he opened the kitchenware shop, which was fabulous.
Yep.
It was really outrageously, just there wasn't one in Orange, and it was a really great shop. We had a big pantry and sold olive oils and all sorts of things, Italian, balsamic vinegars and things you couldn't buy.
That's right.
And
things you couldn't get at Woolies.
Beautiful kitchenware that nobody bought because it was too expensive, and ended up at our place. That was good. And then the Essential Ingredients opened.
Yep.
And that was like, oh, my God, what are we going to do now? This is a nightmare. Because I opened that fabulous shop.
Yep.
And so we just jumped out of kitchenware. And
So
that's
then
the story of the
Hawke's
shop.
General Store, that brand has been around for quite a few years now as well.
Yeah, well, then after that, the kitchenware sort of dissolved, and we just sort of have to move around things in retail. You just can't sit there and go and worry about what
can't
what
rest
the
on
other
your
people are
laurels. That's
doing.
right.
So we decided we'd just move along and do something else, and we thought maybe we'll rebrand the shop. And so we sent it off to Georgie, who's our middle daughter, and she's a designer. She works in museum design, but we thought she might be able to knock up some ideas.
Yep.
And came back with this great big portfolio full of Hawke's General Store. No permission granted.
Fantastic.
It was just like drop all that Fems in the Kitchen Hand and rename it.
And put your surname
Which
into it.
we actually quite liked it. We thought, oh, that sounds great. And then everybody thought we sold eggs, and they'd stop and say, oh, General Store, have you got any butter, or when's the bread come in?
So, Fem, keeping it all in the family, speaking of keeping it all in the family, how beautiful it must have been for you guys to have Sim next door with Lolly Radini, Coco running Hawke's General Store.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a blessed existence to have your kids working alongside you in the town you love. I mean, I think we've all at one point in time just thought, what a great life you guys have to have that.
Yeah, it was pretty fabulous. I mean, those
must be.
years were, I think especially the Lolly Radini years, because Simi was in that restaurant for 18 years, which is sort of quite hard to believe.
Absolute icon.
Sort of the years go quickly and you think, forget about it, but that was... it was wonderful having the two of them there. It was a few nightmares, always worrying. Not one business to worry about, but two. But they were both bumping along nicely. So, and then along came COVID. So,
My kids are only just out of school and they've already had enough of me. I'm jealous that you got to work alongside your daughters.
I think the reason the
decades.
business is being sold is to get rid of me. I've lost my job. I'm redundant.
No, everything has a lifespan. So let's touch on that now. Hawke's is changing hands at the moment.
Yes, it
which
is.
is, the end of an era.
Yeah.
And Coco's owned the business for quite a while now.
She's owned it for a long time. She's been in the business for more than 20 years.
Yep.
And she's owned it for, I can't give dates, but, 15, 16, 18 years maybe. And she owns the business and the building. So I'm employed.
So we're, as a community, we're all hoping it's going into good hands, and I'm sure it is.
Well, I believe the people that have purchased the business are wanting it to continue the way it is.
Yep. And
of course it will be
why wouldn't
different,
you?
and everybody's anxious about that. But of course, they want it to be a great success, and they're going to keep it the way it is at the moment, and it will grow or change, as you would expect.
Do you know one thing that keeps coming up as a theme in this podcast in this first half of the first season is how supportive the Orange business community are of each other. How quite often someone seen as a competitor will jump in there and help you if you need that
absolutely.
help. Or support your business alongside theirs because they feel, a rising tide floats all ships.
Oh,
and
so true.
I think the Orange community will continue
we
to
all
support
do that.
Hawke's.
Yes,
it's just
we
such
all.
a fabulous business.
Yes, well, I think we all support all of our, local businesses that are similar, like-minded businesses. We send them off, make sure we get them first, try and empty their wallets, then send them on.
Well, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
That's right.
But I mean, that also comes back to that beautiful energy that you guys had around the birth of Food Week. It was all about collaboration, wasn't it? It was all about pulling in like-minded people that just wanted to promote food,
exactly.
wine, and the growers.
Yeah, and it worked. The one thing
it worked.
One thing I hadn't mentioned that perhaps I should have was, but prior to Food Week was the Orange Festival of Arts, which was the thing that we were really involved with in our early
late 70s.
Late 70s.
Michael Caulfield had a bit to do with that.
Michael was employed as a director for one of the festivals.
Yeah.
He directed a couple of big productions, but it also sparked another series of events in Orange, a building of the gallery, the theatre.
Conservatorium.
We've got the whole gambit now, beautiful complex, arts complex, precinct. And that's basically, again, started just with a group of really enthusiastic people going, this town needs some action, apart from the bikes and the circus. Yep. And the festival started, and they were fabulous years. They were very seriously good fun. While you were all at uni smoking dope, we were up here having clean, healthy fun with the dope smokers.
Look, it's a town where you can embrace anything. You can embrace a business and people will get behind you. We had Jess Wilkinson from Council on a couple of weeks ago also talking about how, tying into what you're saying there, this food and wine economy that it is, that you guys were part of helping to start, it brings tourists here who then fall in love with the place and decide to move here, put their energy into the town, raise their kids here and stay here. So they're seeing a direct correlation between people who visit as a tourist, go to Hawke's General Store, go to the wineries, go to the cafes, enjoy the arts,
beautiful boarding
ride
schools,
their mountain bikes down, the incredible mountain trails that we have. And then they think, well, why am I in Sydney? Why am I in Canberra? Why don't I just move here?
So true.
So maybe you guys didn't think of all that at the time, but part of what you've done is sort of create that.
It's been a very happy, satisfying life for us. We've had a great time up to this point. We're not finished.
So what are you going to do in retirement?
Oh, God, everybody asks me
You haven't rushed into
I'm actually going to go gardening with my sister, I think.
Fantastic.
She's got a fabulous vegetable garden. I think we might put our heads together and who knows what we might come up with. We might have to start the new little farmers market in Kite Street. I don't know. Look, I've got so many things to do.
And grandchildren to...
They're all big. They're all grown up just about. No, I'm just busy. I'm annoyingly busy in my head and my body's always on the move. So
it's a great way to
please
be.
do not worry about what I'm going to do because there's a lot of things that I haven't finished with yet.
Well, look, I want to wrap up this part of the chat with just talking about retail and what you've seen as the changes in Orange. So right through from those late 70s to now, retail's changed. The world's changed.
Sure.
We have a computer in our pocket. We have social media and the way you promote your business is different. There's, of course, all the onslaught from online. How does a business in Orange in 2025 fight against that and survive?
Yeah, I often think that when I just, in the town looking at all the shops that we've got in Orange and all the, the big shops and the small shops and the amount of product that's available to buy everywhere in town and how does it work. But I think, if you're good at what you do and you know your market and you realise that not everybody wants to sit on a computer and do online shopping. And I think that not everybody can travel and do things and find beautiful products themselves. And I think if you can, create your own retail outlet and you know where your market is, I think there's a huge future in it. And it'll change. It'll keep changing. I think people are going to get very sick of online shopping, and suddenly realise that we may not have any shops soon if we don't support.
Well, exactly.
If we don't get out there.
If we have a ghost town,
I don't think that'll
in the main
happen.
street, it doesn't really make shopping very fun, does it?
I've never felt like that anyway. I think even today driving here, there's so many people in town coming in and out of shops with big bags in their hands, and I think, people love to shop.
I think that's part of that tourist experience here in Orange as well, I feel.
Absolutely.
Come for the food, come for the wine, even come for the mountain biking or the walks, but there's some fantastic retail outlets.
You wouldn't believe how many people come into the shop and say, we cannot believe how many fabulous shops there are in Orange and what a great little circuit it is. And then you've got all the bigger outlets as well. So, yeah, I think there's not much lacking.
The sky's not falling. The future is bright.
Bite Riot Orchards is proudly owned by the Hall family, third-generation growers here in Orange. From crisp, juicy apples to the sweetest summer cherries, Bite Riot produce isn't just enjoyed locally. It's exported across the world and featured in leading supermarkets like Harris Farm Markets. It's more than just fruit, it's family innovation and a commitment to showcasing the best growers from the Orange region. Bite Riot, proudly grown in Orange, shared with the world.
Let's move on to what's on in Orange this week. Always so much happening in Orange. We know this. The HSC's in full swing. I've got a son sitting through that. You've got a grandson.
A grandson, yes.
Sitting through that.
Yes, he's can't wait to complete the circuit and get on with his life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Play a bit more golf.
Things have changed even for kids coming out of Year 12 now, haven't
Oh,
they?
absolutely, yeah.
So much more opportunity, but, not too many following the uni path anymore, which is interesting.
No, I think a lot of the boys are going into trade and not quite knowing what they're doing. They're very young when they come out of school, 17, 18.
Orange Wine Festival in full swing from the 17th to the 2nd of November.
Yeah, fabulous.
And this I suppose came as did the wine festival and wine week just sort of morph out of Food Week as its own little
I mean,
monster?
you'd have to talk to people like Charlotte Gundry and Jane Arnott and all those people that know those things. But I think Food Week started well before Wine Week.
Yep.
It became food and wine, really.
Yep.
And then it sort of separated into, which is what happened after the Festival of Arts, that suddenly all the things that we were doing together separated off into their own little units.
Yep.
And the whole festival almost became not necessary.
And now we're spoilt for choice. This is an interesting one. NAIDOC Week in Australia is celebrated in July. But were you aware that locally the Wiradjuri people here celebrate NAIDOC Week? They do give a nod to it in July, but we do it this week. We do it in October.
No, I did not know
because
that.
of the weather.
Well,
because
makes sense.
so many of the the activities involve outdoor stuff. So there's a lot on this week for Orange's NAIDOC Week. So for starters, 10 a.m. this Saturday, celebrating the NAIDOC Week theme of the next generation strength, vision and legacy, Orange Regional Museum, we've got the Woolagurre Student Choir performing.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Songs in the Wiradjuri language. And then there's a dance workshop. We've also got traditional weaving, run by a local artist and weaver, Talara Croker, a 3-hour weaving workshop on Saturday as well.
Wow.
So just some great
That'll
NAIDOC
be
Week
fabulous.
stuff happening. And Saturday night, the NAIDOC Week Awards at Orange X Services Club. So isn't it really cool that they've just kind of taken that and given it a second bite of the cherry?
I love it. And it makes sense having
Because
this
July
time
would
of the
not
year.
be a great time of year to do a lot of that outdoor stuff. So
I think the Orange Regional Arts Foundation, which I'm quite involved with, funded the choir, the Aboriginal choir that's in NAIDOC. Just give the foundation a plug.
Absolutely, and let's get down there on the weekend. I mean, there's so much happening at the gallery. That space has really worked. That has been and now the conservatorium's going in there as well. I think that's been a real hub.
The conservatorium's so exciting, just seeing that going up.
In a completely different vein, Thursday to Saturday of this week, we've got the Australian National Field Days.
Oh, really?
Which is again another. It's just snuck up on you, has it?
No, it just comes.
Do you guys get out to the field days each year? You probably would have done it every year.
Yeah. No, I haven't been there for years, but
it's still a good day.
Another big
out.
one. Yep.
Yeah, still a good thing to take the family to.
Yep.
And the last one we'll talk about for the week is on Friday, Citrus and Sunshine at Hillside Harvest, a marmalade making experience for 4 hours out of citrus fruits.
Wow.
Are you pretty handy on the
I
preserves?
make my own marmalade. Yep.
I nearly would have guessed it.
Funny about that.
Fem Hawke, it's been so nice to talk to you. We're so grateful for you coming in. I know this was probably against the grain of what you want to do. You're not a big self-promoter. You've let your work speak for itself over the years, you and your girls and Courtney. So, look, thanks so much for joining us on the podcast and telling that story.
I'll just thank you for the opportunity to share those stories.
Been great to have you, Fem.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you. So for all of you community groups, schools, businesses, and any other organisation that thinks it has a piece of newsworthy news for the orange juice, send us an email, news@theorangejuice.com.au. Cheers.